Hey everybody, it's Tom from Inspiration Metalworks. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the projects we're working on today. We've just about got the sissy bar done. I did some video on that the other day, and we actually made some changes after that video was completed. My buddy, the customer, came by, and he had some ideas, and I did put some pictures out there on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and stuff like that, but I'm going to wait to do any more video on that project until I get pieces back from Chrome and powder coat. So when I do the final assembly, I'll shoot some video, and then we'll get it on the bike, and we'll do a little bit more video there so you guys can see that. But keeping with that theme, as we're in the springtime and it's warming up and everybody's starting to get out and ride again, I'm starting work on another project for a motorcycle. Another guy I ride with has quite a few parts on his bike that were custom made for him at a shop up in Virginia. And this shop did probably 95% of the customization on this bike. That being said, the passenger foot pegs, still using the old original passenger foot pegs. And so what he asked me to do is, so here's give you a shot of the foot peg, right? Just a standard Harley-Davidson foot peg. But what he asked me to do is actually recreate the foot pegs that he has and the controls that he has on the rest of the bike. So I took a bunch of measurements on that, and I'll be working on the lathe today. So mostly lathe work. I will need to get on the mill to do the mounting portions of the foot peg. Thankfully it's all round, so I don't have to worry about anything being at the right angle or things like that. The only interesting part about this one, so I'll be doing just some basic turning, hogging some material out, but then we're going to do plunge cut ribs on it, and then the end, and this is the interesting part about it, the end is a spike, right? So I've got all the measurements on that one. I'll turn that by using the cross slide on the lathe, but that'll probably be the last operation I do on the lathe. So what I'm going to have to do, and basically what I'm going to do, I've got a great big old piece of stainless to work from. It is my first time turning stainless, so I don't know how this is going to work, especially on my little South Bend 9-inch, right? So not exactly a great big lathe. I do know I've got to use carbide tooling for this, and I typically do use carbide tooling. I know a lot of guys use high-speed steel on theirs. I'm lazy, just didn't want to have to keep sharpening tools. But I will make a custom tool for this project as well. And then, but I think what I'm going to have to do, because it's just big enough around that it won't fit in the through hole, I'm going to have to turn one side of it, and I'll have it between, I'll put a live center on the one side, and then flip it around and choke it up as far as I can in the head, into the chuck, to give me the strength. I mean, this is, even at its narrowest point, it's going to be an inch in diameter, so an inch stainless isn't going to flex that much. So it should stay plenty rigid for me as I'm turning that angle on here. But before I do that on stainless, I've got just some plain old bar stock that I'm going to practice on first, because what I want to make sure is I want to get my order of operations correct. I want to make sure that the process that I'm going to use is going to actually give me what I'm looking for. So with that being said, I'm going to probably move the camera around. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to record this. I'm in a very small area over here, but I'll do my best. One last thing, you guys can kind of see it in the background. The picture I've got up here. This was one that was taken by Adam Booth. It's ABomb79 on YouTube. Adam and I kind of gone back and forth a little bit on email and things like that, and when I saw this picture I asked for it, and you'll notice, so when I did it, he was gracious enough to share it, and so what I did is I actually made two of them and sent one down to Adam. So he also has one of these prints up in his shop. So it's the first time I've actually gotten a chance to really publicly thank him for that, but yeah, I really appreciated that, and appreciate the interactions I have with lots of people on here. It's amazing, this community. So thanks again, guys, and hopefully I'll give you something fun to look at. Oh, that was loud. While I'm getting set up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my lathe. This is a 1937 South Bend 9-inch, and this is before all the auto oilers and stuff like that. It does have some reservoirs you can fill, but when I found this lathe, it was actually in pieces. It was in someone's basement. It had been her father's lathe, and she didn't know first thing about it really, but it was a good Craigslist find, and I went through this whole lathe and I restored the thing. One of the first things I did though, as I was doing it, because I mean the lathes were good, they weren't worn that much. You know, it's pretty manageable, but one of the first things I did was I contacted Grizzly. So Grizzly actually, you know, bought out the brand, and they had all of the original build sheets. So this lathe, you can contact Grizzly and you could get the original build sheet. And if I can, I'll probably go ahead and maybe put a picture of it up in the video when I edit. But the build sheet showed that this is a 1937. So it was made in 1937. It's an A model, so it does have the ability to thread, but it doesn't have all the power feeds or anything like that. So you know, I've got a full set of change gears. I don't know if you can see any of that. You have to manually change your gears. I recently got another banjo, a later model banjo that has the dual banjo style, so I can reduce that even more. I was going to see if I can kind of fake a power feed using just the right gear ratios and threading. But for right now, this is what I've got. But it even has the original motor, the original GE motor on it, because the build sheet showed the serial numbers. And so this thing, what's it, 77 years old now. Let me fire it up real quick just so you guys can hear. It runs like a charm. But again, you know, I went through and I restored the whole thing. Took it down to bare metal, repainted, replaced all the seals, bearings. I actually put a bearing in here for the thrust take up. But it's, you know, it works real well. The only thing that I don't like about it, it's the switch is wired in reverse. They messed it up when they wired this thing up. So reverse is actually my forward, and forward is reverse. So, but you know, when she runs good and smooth. Makes me happy. All right, sorry guys, I don't have an elegant setup like some of you guys, multi-cameras and like double boost. Some of you guys have just used setup on the on your recording equipment, and I actually do video recording for work. And you know, this is one of these things that I just don't have it set up well here at the house, but I got something, so I'll do my best. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get stuff chucked up to see just how disorganized I am right now. I do apologize. I got stuff everywhere. I gotta get some time in here where I can just go ahead and get cleaned up. Now you'll see here why I have to do the order of operations the way that I do. The through hole on the spindle is actually only 3/4 of an inch on these A models, so it's just not quite enough to actually see. I mean, you can even see here, it's not quite enough to make it through there. Now, what I am going to do, I want to keep a little bit of a gap here because that's just a saw cut end. So I'm just going to, you know, I'm spinning it a little bit as I'm going, just kind of see how it trues up. Okay, that's a lot of stick out for this little piece. So basically, it's actually pretty true. That's not bad at all. So what I need to do then, you know, face it, center drill. I'll get a live center in here to provide support, and then we'll start turning down what's going to be, basically we're going to go this direction with this. So this is an inch, so this is an 1.5 inch stock that I have, so we got to bring it down. The reason for that is it actually goes at the end, and then when it tapers out, I needed that to be 1.25 inches. So a little bit big for what I'm doing, but it's actually gives me some practice on the lathe too. And I had it sitting around, so I'd rather use something that I had sitting around than buying something new, because it would save me just a little bit of time. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead, find us a facing tool. And now I have no formal training on the lathe. I know what I know because I watch people like Keith Fenner and Adam Booth and Tom Lipton and those guys. I spent a lot of time reading and a lot of time out here in the shop, practicing and messing things up, learning by my mistakes. So I really wish I had a center rest here. I've been looking online. Actually, I was going to get a kit and actually make one, machine it, and get the castings. And even the kit is sold out right now. So I was kind of stuck. That's why I'm practicing order of operations here. Figure out with what I have available to me right now, how can I get the job done? So that's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get this faced off. Hopefully it doesn't push on me. So I'm gonna have to take some real light cuts because that's a lot of stick out. Just touch off. I'm going to go ahead and lock that carriage. Now, honestly, I probably should have just center drilled it. Not worried about facing it. This end's actually pretty good. And since most of it's going to get machined off anyways, it doesn't really matter. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Not really. I'm going to move the camera around. At least give you something to look at. Alright, so I did the first cut. Warmed up a little bit. I want to take a look at some of these chips that we made. I don't know if you can see them or not. So, they're not bad. Looks like they are shiny on one side, gray on the other, so I'm okay with that. They were not hot enough to change colors on me. I did take 20 per side, so I took 40 off. I just measured with the caliper, and I'm pretty much spot on there. I got a long way to go on this, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to show you. I might try taking a slightly deeper cut, although again this is definitely not a face-off challenge kind of machine. She's but it gets the job done, so we'll see what we can do. I think I might put some oil on this too as I'm cutting, because I don't like the finish. Some of that's just me, I don't have power feed, so trying to get it as smooth as I can with my travel, that's all on me. So we'll see what we get. See if we got some oil. Yeah, got some oil. Some cutting oil on it. Whoa, a little much. That stuff went flying everywhere, sorry. At least the camera wasn't over there. And 10, 20, let's go 30. That'll actually bring us to 0 on the dial. And we'll see how it handles it. I may have to cut back on this. Just for grains, I took a 50 thousandths cut on this next cut. Thought I'd bring you back for a second just so you can see. Well, actually, it's doing all right. So that's actually taking 100 thousandths off the up diameter. I think maybe I've been babying this thing too much. She can do a whole lot more than what I've been doing. So Keith, I know Keith Fenner. I know you had one of these. You started off on one of these a long time ago. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Am I babying this thing too much? All right, back later. All right, so let's see how we're doing here. And this is pretty hot too, so I'm gonna let it cool off a little bit. And we're 1 inch 15. Yeah. So we're about 1/1000 and 1.5 over right now. But we'll let it cool off a little bit. I also know that I want to take a file to this too, so I probably cut it a little close. But again, like I said, that dimension is for play. A few thousand's aren't going to make a bit of difference. So I'm going to take a file to it real quick and just get this finished just a little bit nicer before we move on. Not bad though. It almost looks like I'm making it worse. I think what I'm going to do, because apparently I gouged in here a little bit, let this cool off, and I'm going to go ahead and do my plunge cuts in here, and then I'll come back and see what needs to get cleaned up after that. Might just use some Scotch-Brite or something. So there we go. I think I need to bring it down just a hair though. All right. I'm just going to clean up past here. There we go. Much, much better. Okay. So that's good. But how are we going to do this? I feel like I probably should have used the compound. You know what? It's not too late to do that, and that's why I'm practicing today, right? Today is figure out your process day. So, I guess it helps if you loosen it. Let's back up a little bit. Set this guy to 0. Clean up so I can see my. Tell you what, whoever These initial ones, this was not a great setup because they put the graduations back here instead of up front where you can read them. So, it says 90. Definitely does not make me happy trying to set this stuff. Especially if, you know, part of it's my fault. I've got the lathe way too high, so it's hard to read. Now I can't get in there to tighten it. Yeah, we're having fun now, but that's okay. Yeah, no, I just broke all kinds of rules. Sorry, folks. I have to live with it today. If we get that locked off. Now we need to square this up again, which gets a whole lot easier when everything's at right angles. Let's get this on 0 as far back as I can. Alright, so there's 0. Let's find our center here by the Braille method. Alright, that was center there, which puts us there. Let's back up. Get our depth. There's our depth. Right at 0, no less. Better still. Okay, so there we go. So now this wants me to go 60 thousandths. 40, 50, 60 thousandths. And do it again. But 60 thousandths. That's not going to do a darn thing. I don't know if you know how well you can see it there. I mean, I'm seeing a ton of run out. I can't. I definitely can't. Can't abide by that. I can't. No. That's a lot better. I feel like I can actually see daylight. That one's tight. That one's tight. This one, I can see daylight. So number 2. Alright, take this off the camera, but I gotta get that worked out at some point. I don't know that it's gonna, you know, that 10 thousandths is gonna make that much of a deal right now, especially since this is just a test one. But I think before I get everything ready to go for the final, I'm gonna have to do something about that. All right, let's get this thing faced and we'll go from there. backlash there. And I'm also just a hair low. There we go. Alright. Get this one done and we'll call it good. You can see from this angle too just how high this bench is. I mean, it's chest height for me. It's way too high. Shoot a little video. Al, you're in my video now.
Oh man.
That's alright. You're good. Let's get a close up here.